षष्टिधा Tonight we're going to sing Yerid Nefesh, which is our traditional song to begin Kabbalat Shabbat. You can see all of the words on page 332 or in our digital siddur. Yerid Nefesh Avarachaman Leshopadecha El Retzonaka Yarut Adecha Kemoaya Yishakabeh Amul Hadorecha Yeravno Yedidetecha Menofetzut Ve'botam Adonai Ziva Olam Nafshi Holat Ahabatecha Ana Elna Refana
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
I'm Rabbi Benjamin Zober, and actually standing next to me is Rabbi Sarah Zober.
I don't have to do camera switches anymore.
We are so glad that you have decided to join us for welcoming the Shabbat. Welcome to our living room.
Again.
Temple Sinai West.
Temple Sinai Northwest. Northwest.
Wherever you are, we are so glad that you are here to join us. We will begin in our Siddur. If you have not already downloaded the virtual Siddur, now would be a great time to do so. TempleSinaiReno.org/live. There will be a link for it. That way you don't have to worry about what page to go to because you just keep flipping to the next. But we will do our best to shout out the page numbers if you have the hard copy with you. We begin with a reading on page 7. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished. Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat, abide.
Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time. Contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life.
Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat, abide. We now turn to page 2 for the lighting of our Shabbat candles.
You may have to go get Ramona. We have the kids ensconced in the room back here. We told them they have to be quiet because we're recording right outside. Mona. Hi.
Look who I found.
Say hi to everybody. They're over
Mama's
there.
here.
They're over there. Say hi.
Oh, hi.
Okay,
Can't see
go
them.
help Dad.
Whoa. Big flame.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Oh, it's bright.
Our next song can be found on page 12, L'chune Ranana. This is a different melody from the one that we normally do, but I figure, I don't know about you, but I've done nothing but scroll through news feeds for the last few days. I figure we could use a little bit of the arts and learn a new melody this week. So, L'chune Ranana. L'chune Ranana, L'chune Ranana, L'chune Ranana, l'Adonai. L'chune Ranana, L'chune Ranana, L'chune Ranana, l'Adonai. Naria, Naria, Letzoy Yeshenu Lekadma Fanav B'todah. Naria, Naria, Letzoy Yeshenu Bizmirot Naria Lo. L'chune Ranana, L'chune Ranana, L'chune Ranana, l'Adonai. Lechuneranana l'Adonai. Lechuneranana, lechuneranana, lechuneranana l'Adonai. Naria, 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 l'tzor yishenu nekadma panav v'toda. Naria is Maria lo. Lechuneranana, lechuneranana, lechuneranana l'Adonai. Lechuneranana, lechuneranana, lechuneranana l'Adonai. Oh, good, Marilyn. I'm glad you know this melody.
All right, we now turn to Lecha Dodi, which can be found on page 20.
Mm-hmm.
We will be singing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9.
Mm-hmm.
And when we reach that ninth and final verse, if you are able, please turn to the entrance of wherever you are to welcome the Sabbath bride into the midst with you.
Yair elaytai lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala panei panei Shabbat v'Kabbalah. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala panei panei Shabbat v'Kabbalah la la. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala panei panei Shabbat v'Kabbalah. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala panei panei Shabbat v'Kabbalah. Shamo v'zachor v'dibur echad. Yishmi'anu echa meyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shem lo tiferet v'litchila la 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 la. Lecha dodi likrat likrat kala panei panei Shabbat v'Kabbalah. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala panei panei Shabbat v'Kabbalah. Likrat v'Shabbat lechu v'necha ki mekor habaracha merosh mikadam nasucha sof ma'aseh v'machshava tchila la 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 la. Lecha dodi likrat likrat kala panei panei Shabbat v'Kabbalah. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala panei panei Shabbat v'Kabbalah. Hitorari, hitorari, hivaoref kumi ori, uri, uri, shidaberi, kevod Adonai Elohim, la 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 la. Lecha dodi likrat likrat kala panei panei Shabbat v'Kabbalah. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala panei panei Shabbat v'Kabbalah la la. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala panei panei Shabbat v'Kabbalah. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala panei panei Shabbat v'Kabbalah. Please rise. Bo'i v'shalom ateret bala. Gam b'simcha u'b'tzola toch emunei am segula. Bo'i chala, bo'i chala, la 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 la. Lecha dodi likrat likrat kala panei panei Shabbat v'Kabbalah. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala panei panei Shabbat v'Kabbalah la la. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala panei panei Shabbat v'Kabbalah. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala panei panei Shabbat v'Kabbalah.
You may be seated. We continue together now with the Chatzi Kaddish, which can be found on page 26. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
B'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei.
B'chayechon u'b'yomechon u'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael. Bagala u'b'zman kariv.
V'meru.
Amen. Yahei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Le'olam Olam Me'omaya Yitbarach.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shmei d'kudisha barichu
Barichu
leila min kol birchata v'shirata
Tushbechata v'nechemata Tamihiran Be'alma.
v'meru.
Amen.
Baruch Hu can be found on the next page.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
We continue together, the middle of page 31. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it, we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim. Ahavat Olam can be found on the next page.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Ahamcha ahavta Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Tokim u'mishpatim Otanu limadata Again Adonai Eloheinu b'shofenu U'kamenu nasiya b'chokecha V'nismach b'divrei Toratacha U'b'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed Kihem chayenu Ve'orach yameinu U'bahem nege yomam v'layla Nege yomam v'layla Ve'ahavata al tasir Mimenu le'olam amin Baruch atah Adonai Ohev amo Yisrael Ohev amo Yisrael Shema can be found on the next page. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Avad.
You may be seated. We continue together with V'ahavta on page 36. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ela asher anochi mitzavacha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha, v'dibartam b'shivtecha b'veitecha, u'v'lechtecha b'derech, u'shokbecha u'v'kumecha, u'kshatam neot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, Uvisharecha, Laman Tizkaruhu, Basitem et Kol Mitzvotai, Vitem Kedoshim Lelohechem, Ahani Adonai Elohechem, Asher Hotzeiti Atem Me'eretz Mitzrayim, Lihiot Lachem Lelohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem Emet. We continue with the responsive reading, the middle of page 39. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt, we were delivered. At Sinai, we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again, we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
Michamocha can be found on the next page.
ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גל ישראל.
We continue together at the top of page 43. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will.
Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukkot shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Yismechu can be found on page 44. Yismechu b'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat. Yismechu b'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat. V'korei oneg, Yismechu b'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat. Yismechu b'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat. Mekadashei, Mekadashei Shabbat, Kulam Yisraelu ve'yitango metuvecha, Yismechu b'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat. Yismechu b'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat. V'korei oneg, Yismechu b'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat. Yismechu b'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat. V'hashti ratzita bo v'tirasho, Hamdat yamim mohuto karata, Zehel matzeh b'reshit. Yismechu b'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat. Yismechu b'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat. V'korei oneg, Yismechu b'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat. Yismechu b'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat. One more time. Yismechu b'malchutcha, shomerei Shabbat.
We continue now with the Amidah, which begins on page 46. Please rise. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agit tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Ve'koneh hakol, ve'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, u'mevii geula livnei v'neihem, leman shemo be'ahava, melech ozer u'moshia u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, magen Avraham, ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atarav lehoshia, Makshiv haruach u'moriv hagashem, Mechakel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Sohomech noflim berofei cholim, U'matir asurim, U'mekayem emunato lishenei afar. Nichamocha ba'al gevurot u'midom melach, melech memit u'mechayeh u'matzliach Yeshua,
ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We continue silently. Please be seated when you are ready.
Oseh Shalom can be found on page 62. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, say shalom. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one 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 bring peace down to us.
We now turn to our Torah service, Seder Kriyat HaTorah. We begin at the top of page 245. Assemble the people, men, women, and children, and the strangers in your cities to hear, to learn, to revere Adonai your God, to observe faithfully the words of this Torah, and to let their children who do not yet know it hear, that they too may learn to revere Adonai your God. And we turn to our prayer for Torah study, which is found all the way back on page 86. Baruch
atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. I'll be reading tonight from Genesis 20, verses 15, 16, 17, and 18. It's the maftir, the last little section of our Torah portion for this past week. Vayomer Abimelech, Hine artsi lefanecha, batov me'enecha shev. Ul Sarah amar, Hine natati elef kesef le'achich, Hine hulach, kasot einayim, v'chol asher itach, ve'et kol v'nochachat. Vayitpalel Avraham el ha'Elohim, vayirpa Elohim et Avimelech ve'et ishto, va'amhotav vayeledu. Ki atzor Adonai, ba'ad kol rechem levet Avimelech, al davar Sarah eshet Avraham.
Our thoughts turn now to those in our community who need a bit of healing, whether it is of body, of mind, or of spirit. At this time, we are thinking of Linda Dufier, Harav Aharon Ben Tova, Wendy Alderman, Ilka Ashenoff, Ramon Chavez, Les Cohen, Megan Carney Cranmer, Lisa Gaskins, Sarah Goguen, Marlene Harris, Diana Johns, Meir Ben Rachel Fagel, Vaharav Avraham, Steve Meyerson, Pesach Ben Akiva, Charlotte Rutkovitz, Shirley Rutkovitz, Sarah Bachava, Marianne Schenker, the Ryan Seiler family, Steve Strauss, Jessica Wadatz, Yisraela Devira Bat Avraham Basara, Usher Zalich, Ahmad Zarur, Hamida Derry, Dave Levine, and everyone who was affected by the coronavirus, and all the names that you have shared, either in the comments or in your hearts. For them, we offer our Song of Healing, Debbie Friedman's Misha Berach, which can be found on page 253.
Berach avotenu mekol habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Isheberach imotenu vekol habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We turn to page 257. We read responsively the middle of the page. When Torah entered the world, freedom entered it. The whole Torah exists only to establish peace.
Its highest teaching is love and kindness. What is hateful to you, do not do to any person.
That is the whole Torah. All the rest is commentary. Go and learn it. Those who study Torah are the true guardians of civilization.
Honoring one another, doing acts of kindness, and making peace. These are our highest duties. But the study of Torah is equal to them all because it leads to them all.
Let us learn in order to teach. Let us learn in order to do. The captain of the USS Lincoln saw a light in the distance. He called for his signalman to send out a message. Please divert your course 15 degrees to the north to avoid a collision. Came the response, recommend you divert your course 15 degrees to the south to avoid a collision. Undeterred, this is the captain of a U.S. Navy ship. I say again, divert your course. Again, a response. No. Say again, you divert your course. Enraged, the captain flexed his muscle. This is the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln, the second largest ship in the United States Atlantic Fleet. We are accompanied by 3 destroyers, 3 cruisers, and numerous support vessels. I demand that you change your course 15 degrees north, that's 15 degrees north, or countermeasures will be undertaken to ensure the safety of this ship. The final response, this is a lighthouse. Change does not come easily to most of us. We dig in, we resist, and sometimes we pay dearly for it. When we do want to change, it is often gradual or slow. Sometimes this is because it is a long time coming, like geology, the result of time and pressure. Other times, though, change is sudden and drastic. This week in the Torah, we learn alongside Abraham and Sarah that they are to have a baby together. This comes as quite a shock to both of them on account of both Sarah's supposed infertility and her advanced age. One has to imagine that their plans changed quite dramatically in that moment. How different their lives were to become. That promise of a great nation suddenly became so real to them. Change, as they discovered, is hard. Change takes work. Even when change is happy, it is accompanied by all of the requirements and the demands of new circumstances. It was this challenge that Abraham and Sarah faced and fought through for the rest of their time. When change comes, whether it is swift and sudden or long and protracted, it's hard. It is stressful. There are 2 ways to handle stress, according to Kurt Vonnegut. One is to laugh. The other is to cry. Mr. Vonnegut preferred laughter as there was less to clean up. Sarah laughs too. Maybe some of it was at the improbability of it all, the absurdity, but maybe some of it was over the prospect of change and the stress that was coming with it. And when she later denies that she laughed at God, maybe it was because she did not want to admit that she was overcome by the size and reality of the obligations that just fell upon her. Not just being the mother of a great nation, but being a mother. It is okay to laugh. It is okay to cry, particularly when we struggle with the difficulties of change. Change is not easy, even though we encounter it all the time in our lives, in Judaism. And with Judaism, our rituals of change become invaluable tools to learn how to manage the process. Our most frequent change is Shabbat. We mark that change from week to Shabbat, going through this transformation every week. It helps us build the muscle memory that it takes to let go of things, to embrace new ones, to move constantly, whether we know it or not. Shabbat, says Heschel, is a palace in time, a refuge, a comforting, static moment. but it too gives way to change. And so we practice every week, letting go of one week, changing to the next. And we mark the transition back with a ritual solely devoted to change, Havdalah, which means separation, separating Shabbat and the week between sacred and mundane. This is how we change from one to the other. This ritual practice is one that prepares us for that inevitability of life, change. It is a dress rehearsal for moments of sudden change. One moment it is not Shabbat, and then with the flick of a match, the whispers of a blessing, the Sabbath has arrived. It is a ritual we encounter again and again, so that the forced, the long, the grinding changes in our life are not unknown and unfamiliar to us. We are at a moment of change right now, and not just marking Shabbat. It is no coincidence that tonight we read, "This is an hour of change." Within it we stand uncertain. Change is not easy, whether it is welcome or not, whether it is expected or not, whether it is swift or not. It is scary, it is hard, and yet it is also so necessary. We must change, or else, as Norman Mailer suggested, we pay more for remaining the same. May this week and the coming days be ones of change, but also ones of growth, of strength, of holiness, and peace. Shabbat Shalom. We continue with Aleinu, which can be found at the bottom of page 282.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורר עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 285. Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. Page 287.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
We think now of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. That's a list.
Which one?
Kaddish.
Do you have it or no? Should be on the Mishabach list, right?
Yes. Barb McBrady, Jack Robinson, Nancy Livingston, Ralph Wolfstein, Richard Heller, Noel Frankel, Michael Lewis Goldstein, Michael James Lordier, Norma Morhar, Moshe Avnir, Millard Petersky, Ivan Appleruth, Miguel Wicki, Amitza Bat Abraham Vasara, Aaron Ben Beryl Vasara, Enrique Monteverde Nimbriotis, Alan R. Pretty, Al Feldman, Rabbi Sigma Faye Karan, Laurie Frankel, William Friedlander, Florence Conti, Sanford Arnold Eisenstadt, Joe Johns, Sherwin Sider, Arthur Ashkin. And this Shabbat, we commemorate the yahrzeits of E. Anthony Cunningham Jr., Barbara Rachel Green, Robert F. Miller, Marcia Epstein, Thomas Leschenbach, Peter M. Burns, Kenneth Liebman, Larry B. Shaw, Irv Grossman, Ilse Rosenfeld Weinberg, Myrna Gilbert, Evelyn Holzer, and Jenny Leventhal. Kaddish Yatom can be found on page 294. If it is your custom, please rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'alma divra chirute v'amlich malchute. V'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael. V'agala uvizman kariv v'imru.
Amen.
Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitale v'yithalal Shemei dekudesha berichu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata ta'amiran b'alma v'imru.
Amen.
Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all who mourn, to which we say,
Amen.
Amen. Let's see, a few announcements for you this evening. First, of course, is that tomorrow we have Torah study at 10 a.m. via Zoom. No prior experience necessary, but we would love to have you there. So please let us know if you would like to join for the login information. It is a good time, and the more of you that come, the more learning it is, and we would love to have you. Let's see, what else do we have coming up? A week from Saturday, bless you. A week from Saturday, we will not be having Torah study because we are celebrating an absolutely marvelous simcha, the calling of Russell Slamowitz to become bar mitzvah. So we will have a Saturday morning service, and he will be dazzling you with his learning and his Hebrew and his chanting and all sorts of wonderful things. So we hope that you tune in for that. And he has a wonderful and large digital audience to cheer him on and help celebrate this incredible and special milestone. That's, I think, all of the big stuff that we've got coming up. Certainly check your emails when they come out about events and things that we've got going on. And so if there's nothing else, then what is our closing number tonight?
Oh, we are going to close tonight on page 327 by singing Ein Kelohenu. This is a Ladino version of Ein Kelohenu. That's a lot of fun. So practice your Ladino as well. Ein Kelohenu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkenu, Ein Kamahoshienu. Non como nuestro Dios, non como nuestro Señor, non como nuestro Rey, non como nuestro Salvador. Mi Elohenu, mi Adonenu, mi Malkeinu, mi Moshienu, ¿Quién como nuestro Dios? ¿Quién como nuestro Señor? ¿Quién como nuestro Rey? ¿Quién como nuestro Salvador? No del Elohenu, no del Adonenu, no del Malkenu, no del Moshienu. Lo haremos a nuestro Dios, lo haremos a nuestro Señor, lo haremos a nuestro Rey, lo haremos a nuestro Salvador. Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu. Bendijo nuestro Dios, bendijo nuestro Señor, bendijo nuestro Rey, bendijo nuestro Salvador. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu. Tú sos nuestro Dios, tú sos nuestro Señor, tú sos nuestro Rey, tú sos nuestro Salvador. So at this time, I'm realizing that I don't have.
Let me guess.
I'm getting you vamp.
Well, it has been an absolute pleasure to welcome the Shabbat with you. It was a special treat to actually be next to my lovely bride, Sarah, once again. We hope that you enjoyed this. And certainly, if you are enjoying services, please let us know. We love to hear from you. We love to know that even in these crazy, mixed up, weird times that we're living in, that there is something that people are enjoying and something to celebrate. And in Judaism, when we celebrate things, we celebrate with wine. So
Good segue. Okay. We are on page 5 if you'd like the words, or if you're in our digital Siddur, just keep scrolling. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'mahaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techilan mikra'e kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim ki banu v'chorta ve'otanu kidasha mikohamim ve'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uvratzon hinchatanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. L'chaim. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Hopefully we'll get some election results at some point, right? Before Torah study would be nice. Have a great weekend, everyone.